7 stories below the main deck, surrounded by machinery that could kill you in seconds. A single mistake can sink a ship worth $300 million. This is the engine room, the place most passengers will never see, never hear, and the crew who work here wouldn't have it any other way. Welcome to the most dangerous workplace on Earth, where temperatures hit 130 degrees Fahrenheit, noise levels permanently damage hearing in minutes, and a 2-story diesel engine generates enough power to light up a small city. This is what really happens inside a ship's engine room. The first thing that hits you when the watertight door opens is the heat. Not warm, not hot, oppressive. The kind that makes breathing feel like work. The engine room maintains temperatures between 110 and 130 degrees, even in Arctic waters. Those massive diesel engines, some weighing over 2,000 tons, generate enough heat to warm an entire apartment building. But noise is just the beginning. The relentless noise is what breaks most people. Inside the engine room of a container ship traveling at 23 knots, sound levels reach 130 decibels. That's louder than a rock concert. Louder than a chainsaw held next to your ear. Ear protection isn't optional. It's survival. Engineers working a 4-hour shift can suffer permanent hearing damage in under 10 minutes without protection. The engine itself is a monster. Picture a diesel engine the size of a 4-story building. The crankshaft alone weighs 300 tons. Each piston, and there can be 14 of them, is taller than a grown man. When that engine fires up, the entire room vibrates. This single engine produces up to 100,000 horsepower. That's the power of 1,000 sports cars running simultaneously. But here's what most people don't understand. That engine isn't just pushing the ship forward. It's keeping everyone alive. The engine room powers everything. The lights in passenger cabins, the refrigeration units keeping food fresh for 2,000 people, the desalination systems turning seawater into drinking water, the air conditioning, the navigation systems, the communication equipment. If the engine room goes dark, the entire ship goes dark. And that's exactly what happened to the Costa Concordia in 2012. The massive cruise ship struck rocks off the Italian coast. Water flooded the engine room. Power failed. Lights went out. 32 people died, not from the initial impact, but from what happened after the engine room flooded. Without power, the ship became a floating death trap. So who are the people working down here? The engine room crew is small, usually 4 to 8 engineers on a cargo vessel. They work 4-hour shifts in conditions that would make most people quit after 30 minutes. The chief engineer has usually spent 20 years working up from the bottom. They've memorized every pipe, every valve, every gauge. Because when something goes wrong at sea, there's no calling for help, no tow truck, no rescue team arriving in minutes. The chief engineer on a container ship once described his job like this. Imagine being responsible for a power plant, a water treatment facility, and a massive diesel generator, all while that facility is moving through ocean storms at 25 miles per hour, carrying cargo worth millions. Now imagine doing that with a crew of 6 people. That's the engine room. The work itself is brutal. Engineers climb ladders between levels of machinery in 120-degree heat. They inspect fuel injectors the size of fire hydrants. They monitor pressure gauges, temperature sensors, oil levels, coolant systems. A single bearing failure on the main shaft can cost $2 million and strand the ship for weeks. So they check, and they check again, every 4 hours, every single day, for months at sea. But the real danger isn't the heat or noise. It's the systems themselves. The fuel oil system operates at temperatures above 450 degrees Fahrenheit. hot enough to ignite on contact with air. A fuel line rupture can spray superheated oil across the engine room in seconds, turning the space into an inferno. Engineers train for this scenario religiously. Then there's the steam system. Modern cargo ships use steam for heating fuel oil, running turbines, and powering systems throughout the vessel. That steam operates at pressures exceeding 400 pounds per square inch and temperatures over 700 degrees. A steam leak is invisible, but walk through it, and it will strip flesh from bone instantly. Engineers learn to use brooms, sweeping the air to detect leaks they can't see. The engine room also contains the ship's sewage treatment plant, the incinerator for burning waste, and the oily water separator that prevents pollution. It's not glamorous. Engineers spend hours in bilges, the lowest points of the ship where oily water collects, checking pumps and clearing debris. It's hot, cramped, and filthy work that keeps the ship compliant with international environmental laws. Perhaps the most fascinating system is the freshwater generator. Out in the middle of the ocean, there's no water supply. The engine room solves this by boiling seawater and condensing the steam into fresh water. A large cargo ship can produce 30 tons of fresh water per day. It's desalination powered by waste heat from the main engine. The crew drinks it, showers in it, cooks with it, all created 7 stories below deck. During a storm, the engine room becomes even more critical. As waves toss the ship, fuel sloshes in tanks, oil pressure fluctuates, and gravity-dependent systems suddenly fail. Engineers monitor everything, adjusting fuel flow, balancing loads, keeping that engine running smoothly, even as the ship rolls 30 degrees. The engine room operates 24 hours a day for the entire voyage. When a cargo ship leaves Shanghai bound for Los Angeles, that engine will run continuously for 14 days. No breaks, no downtime. Engineers rotate shifts, but the engine never sleeps. At sea, the engine room is life support. It's power. It's survival. What happens in a ship's engine room isn't just mechanical work done by engineers. It's a constant battle against entropy, fought by a small crew in brutal conditions, keeping a floating city alive in the middle of the ocean. It's the place where physics meets human endurance, where engineering meets survival, where the real voyage happens, far below the passenger decks and the bridge. The psychological toll is something nobody talks about. Engineers spend months at sea, working 4-hour shifts in an environment that assaults every sense. The constant noise creates a kind of sensory deprivation. Many engineers describe a ringing in their ears that never stops, even after they leave the ship. Sleep becomes difficult when your cabin is directly above the engine room. The vibration never stops. The low-frequency hum penetrates walls, floors, even your bones. Some engineers learn to sleep through it. Others never do. There's also the isolation. While deck officers and crew interact with each other, see the ocean, feel the sun, engine room staff spend their entire shift in artificial light. They emerge only for meals and sleep. One chief engineer described it as living in a basement that moves. For months at a time, the engine room becomes their world, a hot, loud, dangerous world that most people can't imagine. But here's what keeps them coming back. The engine room is pure problem solving. When something breaks at sea, and it always does, there's no parts store, no manufacturer helpline. Just you, your tools, and your knowledge. Engineers have fabricated replacement parts using the ship's machine shop while crossing the Pacific Ocean. They've jury-rigged cooling systems, rebuilt fuel pumps, and kept engines running with duct tape and ingenuity that would make NASA engineers jealous. The engine room log, a thick book filled with handwritten entries every hour, tells the story of every voyage. Fuel consumption rates, oil temperatures, bearing pressures, each entry signed by the engineer on watch. That log is legal documentation. In the event of an accident, investigators will read every single entry looking for the mistake, the missed warning sign, the moment when something went wrong. Next time you see a cargo ship on the horizon or step onto a cruise vessel, remember this. Somewhere deep below, in heat that would break most people, engineers are making sure you get where you're going. They're the ones keeping the lights on, keeping the engines running, keeping everyone alive. And they do it in a room most people will never see, and hopefully never need to think about. Because when the engine room is working perfectly, nobody above deck knows it exists. And that's exactly how it should be.